One thing that's definitely true, if you guys think about any good trading day you've ever had, or forget trading, like any time you were really performing well, like actually physically performing well, were you ever in a terrible state of mind ever during that time? Yeah, and usually even leading up to it, while you're doing it, especially after you do it, you're always typically in a good state of mind, right? But if you could think of when has a negative, scared, kind of contracting state of mind ever served you for performance ever? In fact, it mostly doesn't serve us most of the time, right? So, it's pretty easy to come to the conclusion that I feel is the absolute truth is that a quality state of flow or good state of mind, happy, creative, explorative, open, that's what leads to good performance in whatever you're doing. So having the emotional intelligence to understand where you're at currently while you're before you're trading, while you're and especially while you're trading, that level of emotional intelligence is going to be super super important because you if you're in a bad state of mind and you're, let's say you get into like a revenge trading pattern or over trading, or you take a loss and let's just say it doesn't settle well with you, and you'll know that's the emotional intelligence part. I feel unsettled about that. Just know at that point that your chances of having a good outcome now are greatly diminished because you're not in a good state of mind, and you know that good performance most of the time, as a rule, doesn't happen in those states of mind. So maybe the next time you feel that, you feel a little bit demoralized or you feel upset about a loss. Usually loss is the only thing that makes you upset in trading. So we'll just start from there. If you're not feeling like it's settling well with you, that might be time to let that emotional intelligence kick in and just wait. Whatever you need to do to drop that feeling, let it pass, whatever needs to happen. You need to get back into a good state of mind one way or another. And I know Sid's giving you guys some techniques. If you haven't watched his course yet in our online course, it's all about finding those resources to get your mind back in check, taking control. It's kind of learning to manage your state is kind of along the lines of you're taking control and self-guiding your feelings rather than what most people do in life is they're kind of like a pinball in a pinball machine. It's like they rub up against this person, it makes them upset, so then they bounce and they react, and then they get into this situation, and it may even make them happy, and then they think, okay, now that situation, they're completely 100% reliant on outside influences to make them feel, whether for good, for bad. You might even be waiting for someone to apologize to you over something they did to you. And so now what you've done is that you've put your well-being in their hands. And they probably don't even know about it. They probably forgot about it. So that's what we end up doing is that we let all of our outside surroundings guide us emotionally. And in the reality, we have to be in specific emotional states to get the results that we want in our life. So the moment that we take responsibility for that and then start getting a system in place to do it on purpose, that's really when you start exercising your power for performance, and this goes for everything that you want to do in your life. Just a quick example, you can have formed what you think is the best bulletproof system from a technical standpoint, and the harder you work on it, and the better you feel about it, then you're going to be more attached to it. And then the moment that you actually lose or it doesn't work, you're going to be in an even worse emotional place because now you've become super attached to that system. So again, regardless of what you're doing, having a system to get yourself centered again so that you can have a good chance at higher performance is critically important. One thing I was going to kind of mention too, and this is something you don't have to do this, but it's something that I try to do, and I want to try to do it more personally. It's my goal. But if you guys have ever studied, some people will call it law of attraction. Some people will call it um, uh, programming your RAS or your reticular activating system. Essentially, what it comes down to is programming your subconscious mind to deliver you results. We're doing this no matter what. We're always doing it. We are creating programs, like Sid said. We're creating categories because the biggest draw for the human psyche is to go towards what's familiar. Even if it's painful, we would choose familiarity over unfamiliar, just because we like patterns. So one thing that you could do to program your reticular activating system, which is your subconscious mind, to bring you resources to notice things. And I'll give you a quick example too. You can know that this is working. Like if you've ever bought a new car before, it could be a used car, whatever. But let's say that I just bought a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. I was going to buy the new Cadillac Escalade, but I bought the Jeep Grand Wagoneer because I bought a trailer and this has a bigger tow capacity. It's totally besides the point, but I never thought I'd be a Jeep guy, but here I am. So I bought a brand new one and now I'm noticing them on the road because I have one. It's in my awareness. I have somewhat of an emotional connection to it because I went through the process of buying it and blah, blah, the whole thing. So now I notice them on the road. Before, I never even knew they existed because it wasn't in my reticular activating system. It wasn't even on my radar. So I'm sure you guys have experienced that before, where you've done that and you bought a car and then now you're like seeing them all drive. You're seeing them in different colors. You're seeing, you're like, oh, maybe I should have got the black one instead of the red one, whatever. So, but that is this reticular activating system. So ways that you can program this, because it's usually programmed by a strong emotional connection of some degree. So one thing that you could do is before you guys trade, or maybe once throughout the day, think about the transformation that you want with your trading. Nobody wants to sit here and crunch numbers and look at a screen with these stupid lines all day long. No one wants to do that. The only reason we're looking at this screen that I'm looking at right now with you guys is for what it can do for us, what it can mean for us. That is the transformation it creates in us or in our lives. That's it. Other than that, if it didn't have a transformation associated with it, then it's useless and frankly extremely boring, right? Think about the transformation. Picture it in your mind. You close your eyes just for a few minutes. Think of the transformation that this is going to give you, and picture it as vividly as you can as something that it could give you. It might be more free time, might be you walking away from the job you're in now, and then feel the feeling you would feel when that happened. How would you feel if you're walking away from that job that you've hated for 20 years, whatever it is? And in your mind, wait till you get that feeling where you picture it clear enough and you just go, yes. Like you just have that little bit of a spark. That's how you know you've activated your reticular activating system. Then what you want to do right after that, the moment you have that slight good feeling where like, yes, this is awesome, like as if it's happening right now, then link it to profitable trading. Immediately move over to actually booking profits in the market. See yourself booking those profits. Then when you've done that for a minute or so, link that to trading in a flow state, discipline, money management, managing risk, all those things. So what you're doing is you're creating this linking process that you're linking these behaviors, this person that you need to become on the screen that trades in a flow, good state of mind, has discipline, has good money management. You're linking those things to the transformation. And this might seem like a little bit hocus pocus, but I'm telling you right now, you're already doing it in every aspect of your life. You're linking patterns to behaviors and you're doing it through emotion. If you take just a few minutes to do this before you trade every day and link it up, you'll find that those good behaviors are much easier to follow. You won't be so undisciplined because it will go against the emotional programming of the transformation you're going after. And that's how it just ends up, things become easier over time. You'll notice that this doesn't happen in every case, but people have such a strong emotional pull towards, it could be like smoking, it could be towards heavy eating, whatever. People, especially eating, everyone sometimes goes through stages where they eat to feel good, and they'll just eat and eat and eat, and maybe they'll be gaining weight. And then all of a sudden something bad happens, like they get diagnosed with as a diabetic, or maybe they even have a heart attack. And then the emotion of that event is strong enough, it has a strong enough emotional charge to get them to link that negative outcome they experienced to the eating, to the point where they become repulsed by the idea of eating, or smoking or whatever it is. And then they turn on a dime. They never go back to it. So, but sometimes the emotional pulls are so strong, those reinforcing behaviors, that even that doesn't help. But if you practice this willfully and you connect good behavior to the good emotions you want to feel, and the transformation that trading's going to do for you, it will become easier over time, and you won't notice it right away. It might even be a little bit annoying because you kind of get up from something, this kind of visualization technique, and sometimes it could feel like it backfires, like you're like, my situation's still the same. Nothing's changed. Ignore that. It's totally normal. Ignore that. What's most important is you link a little bit of that emotional excitement, that good emotional spark, quickly link it to the good behavior, and forget about it for the rest of the day. Move on, go about your business, and try to do the best you can. If you do that repeatedly, guys, I'm telling you right now, you'll notice a difference. And it won't be that day, but look at it in 30-day, 60-day, 90-day blocks. If you do that just for a few minutes consistently, see how you start to feel, and how your discipline and your money management skills go up.